Batman, 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 hey, Batman, Batman. Mr. Never use a gap, man. Never turn like a Batman.
The Houston Rockets are pretty much done for. That is what the subject of this video is going to be for today. But before we get into that video, you already know the vibes. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, you name it, I got it. Follow me on all these social media platforms for more basketball talk. Now, like I said before, the Houston Rockets are essentially finished. They completed the trade to send Russell Westbrook away to the Washington Wizards in exchange for an injured John Wall. That's right, John Wall that just came off an injury and has not played in almost 2 complete years. Last time we seen him play was, I believe, late 2018, early 2019. So we have not seen John Wall play the game of basketball in a very long time. The Houston Rockets, and as well as everybody in the sports world, doesn't even really know what they're getting back. They don't really know how good John Wall is going to be. They signed DeMarcus Cousins. They acquired Christian Wood, who looks to be a great big, but that isn't enough. The problem is James Harden wants out. He's requested to leave. And when your superstar player, the player that you've been building around since, I don't know, 2012, requests to leave, the centerpiece of your franchise, the face of your franchise, when that player requests to leave, it's always, and I repeat, always going to go downhill. Because when you lose your superstar player, you will never get equal value in return. It's always going to be a bad situation, and especially if they leave in free agency. But since James Harden is signed on for a few more years, it's more than likely he's going to be traded away. And even through a trade, you're still not going to get equal value for James Harden. The thing about James Harden is, and regardless of what haters want to say, he is a top 5 player in the game of basketball. If you want to say LeBron is the best, if you want to say Anthony Davis is number 2, maybe you want to go Kawhi, Giannis, Luka. Not Luka. Luka is not better than James Harden. Stop it. But aside from that, he is a top 5 player in the game of basketball. So off rip, if the Houston Rockets are going to trade James Harden, and they will, they're almost forced to, if you're not getting back a top 5 player, you're getting worse. You're going downhill. You lost the trade. History has shown us that when you trade away a player, whoever got the best player in the deal, almost 99% of the time won the trade. So what are the Rockets right now? They lost Russell Westbrook. They lost Chris Paul before that. And then they lost Dwight Howard before that. So the Houston Rockets have done everything for James Harden. They've broken their back since the day he's arrived in Houston to put him around a good co-star. First, they signed Dwight Howard, and I believe after the year he was on the Lakers, which was the 2013-2014 season, that didn't go well. They got rid of him. After that, 2-3 years later, they signed Chris Paul, and it seemed like it might have worked. It seemed like it might have went somewhere, but what happened? He got injured in Game 5, 2018 Western Conference Finals, and that was the best shot the Houston Rockets ever had of capturing a championship, and it just didn't go through. The very next year, they lost in the second round to the Golden State Warriors, again, like they did in the previous season. And after that, they got rid of Chris Paul. They traded him for Russell Westbrook. They got Russell Westbrook. What ended up happening? Well, they ended up losing this past postseason. They ended up losing to the Los Angeles Lakers in 5 games. So the Houston Rockets are clearly on a downward trend. James Harden is 31 years old. He probably has 2 or 3 years left at the top of his prime. And those are years that the Rockets would have loved to have, but now that he's very unhappy, he wants to leave. He's made that very clear. He wants to get traded to a championship contending team. The teams that we've heard about so far, the Nets, the Sixers. But regardless, what are the Rockets' chances here? Like, what are the future hold for them? It doesn't hold a lot. If they trade James Harden to Philly, they're most likely going to trade Ben Simmons? So what, you're going to pair Ben Simmons with John Wall? Is that really what you want to do? That doesn't match at all. First of all, they're both point guards. Second of all, neither one of them can shoot. So what? You're going to have John Wall, Ben Simmons in your backcourt? This is not the 1970s. This doesn't work. You need shooting. So if I'm the Rockets, I don't even want Ben Simmons to begin with. You're going to trade him for who? Like Joel Embiid? That might be nice. That might be a good 9th seed team in the West. The West is stacked. John Wall and Joel Embiid is not going to get you very far. You might make the playoffs. I mean, that's about it. There's not really a lot that the Houston Rockets can do. I believe they traded away a lot of their picks in the deal to get Russell Westbrook the year prior. They did get a first-round pick from the Washington Wizards during this trade for John Wall. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's not until 2023, 2024, something like that. So the Houston Rockets are pretty much done for. They're not going to be a contending team. I would be very surprised if they make it past a 7th or 6th seed this coming season, the one that's about to start on December 22nd. I don't see them making it far in the playoffs. If they do make the playoffs to begin with, they're definitely going to be a first round out, and it's not going to get much better than that. The Houston Rockets are done for. We're not going to have to see them much. There's not going to be a lot of news or headlines. Once James Harden is gone, they're pretty much going to be down. They acquired Steven Silas. They hired Steven Silas to be a new coach, and it seemed like that was a great signing, a great hire. He seems like he can be a great coach, but if James Harden wants to leave, you're rebuilding. At that point, the Rockets are going to be looking to rebuild, and we're not even going to get to see how good Steven Silas is as a coach, because he's just not going to have the pieces around him to coach. He's going to have a John Wall coming off an injury. I mean, it's just not looking good for the Houston Rockets. If you're a Rockets fan, I'm sorry for your loss, but James Harden about to be up out of there. And that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about with you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed a little quick rant I just did here. If you like what I do, if you like my content, definitely hit that subscribe button if you haven't. And I will talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.